take. What is going on, y'all? It is your boy QuaMonstarG, and we is back with Q&K Talk Wrestling,
You're,
where two black. Go ahead.
I say
You're.
you're
Where two black folks talk about their favorite and slash their most important wrestling news of the week, and we are back at it again like we ain't left before. Key, holler at them, tell them how your week been, and tell them what we got on the docket.
My week has been very, very long. I'm very happy that the weekend is almost here, even though I'll still be working, but gotta make money. Capitalism's a motherfucker, but things. So, on tonight's docket, we are talking about how Jade's debut in AEW. We're also talking about Sasha getting the role on Mandalorian. And we're also talking on something that kind of is really concerning, and I hate this. How Zelina Vega was released, and the reason why, and why that should not be a thing. And we're also going to be talking about many different topics, like how Drew regained the title, what's next. Now we can get into what's next for Randy, and the Survivor Series coming up, who we think is going to win, what team looks better, just different stuff for tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yeah, whew, I gotta compose myself talking about this fine woman, this fine, smart, strong black woman. But neither, just full disclosure, neither me nor Key keeps up with AEW in any regularity,
Nope.
unless it's something that is completely large and is like encompassing to the wrestling world. We very much so aren't involved with it as much. I will say the closest we have come to watching, well, keeping the most I keep up with AEW is from one of my mutual Twitter account friends, Gift Skulls. Shout outs to him. Posting on Wednesday nights whenever they botch or somebody does misses a punch, and he tweets hashtag join Dark Order in honor of that infamous segment when one of them Dark Order dudes was just straight no punching Dustin Rhodes. But this past weekend they had their Full Gear pay-per-view. Apparently it was very good. I can believe that. And coming out of it, Cody Rhodes, he who has his last name back, because for those who don't know, he lost it when he left WWE, and he was going by just Cody, but now the rights were up, and now he's got the last name back. He was basically cutting a promo about his future, what his next ambitions are, and then out of the blue, this vision of a black woman, this ebony queen, just comes into the ring and starts cutting this promo, just dogging Rhodes, dogging Cody Rhodes,
Music to my ears.
yeah, music to my ears and feast for my eyes. Let me stop. I'm sounding like Jerry Lawler. But essentially, she was for a woman who her name is Jade Cargil. She's just straight coming out of just came out the blue. Her promo and the way she carried herself was just that of a veteran, and the promo was very much, just really made you invested in who this mystery woman who you never seen before was. Like, you've had plenty of instances where a new male or female wrestler cut a promo and you're like, who the hell is this guy and why they're talking? But it definitely was not this woman. She held your attention. She captivated you from, her saying Cody was full of shit, which the censors didn't catch, but then muted the next word because they were so slow on the draw
I've
to,
been saying this bullshit. That's fine.
to her just basically saying that there, she's seen a real man before, and Cody has time, in the words of SpongeBob, Cody's time is up, and that there is somebody coming that's going to completely shake the landscape of AEW. And she said Shaq. And I'm gonna ask you this, Key: is there any other Shaqs besides the Shaq that everyone, myself and you, immediately went to in their minds? that she could be talking about? Because there's only one Shaq, and I don't, and I know he dabbled with wrestling, but I don't think she can't possibly mean what I think she means.
I think she means what she means because there's only two Shacks that we talk about in America, and one is Shake Shack. And I know she ain't that one.
Yeah, she's talking about. I think she's talking about the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, which
Yes, sir.
for for what it's worth, I think that is a pretty significant get for AEW if they got literally one of the greatest basketball players and Advent wrestling fan Shaquille O'Neal to do a program with them in this capacity. Historically, sports athletes have a pretty good record with their participation with wrestling, specifically the basketball. Of course, the most famous example is Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone back in the 90s during the NWO heyday, something like that. Again, Shaq has been involved multiple times with WCW and WWE. He's always had that passion for wrestling. So, yeah, this could be very interesting, especially if Jade is going to be his manager slash mouthpiece in any capacity. But I want to talk about the follow up to that because after Jade dropped that bomb and was standing on the top of the stage, Brandy came out and she got into her ass. She cut a hell of a promo, something I was not expecting from Brandy. I
Do
know
you
I.
think it was cute? Anyway, so beautiful gowns.
I'm gonna throw it to you in a second on your opinion. I just want to say shout out the line she gave where she was like, "Some you in my house talking crazy to my man, and now you my problem." And I literally laughed because just how it was genuinely a hilarious line because I've heard that line before from family members, so it just took my mind to that. But Key, what's your thoughtorinos on that aspect of it?
All right. Well, first of all, I got big thoughts on this one, but the biggest thing is I want to get into Miss Brandy Owens. I mean Brandy Rhodes, real quick. That's the first time I heard. I sound like she's black, which means she was doing too much. I'm sorry. I mean, it was cute or whatever. But it just seemed like she was trying hard, like trying real hard, and now it's like you're gonna be having fans once again do the same thing they did with Sasha, calling the girl ratchet and ghetto and this, that, and the third. And that's just a pile of worms nobody wants to deal with. But on the other end, I'm really happy about Jade being in AEW because I've heard, like, from what I've seen, she is really good. And she's actually had few tryouts with WWE, but for some reason it didn't work. I blame Booker T. But anyways, this is actually a very positive thing for AEW because now this, if they get Shaq in, that means more eyes are going to be on them, which means more eyes are going to be looking at their women's division. So now the ball's in their court to do this right. They have to do better because we know WWE treats their black women like crap. We know this. It's nothing new. Been there, seen that, everything. With Red Velvet there as well as Jade, this is their chance to start, showcasing more if they want to be seen as a quote unquote threat.
Big Swole as well.
Uh, yeah, Big Swole. Anyways, yeah, Big Swole as well. But no, I'm just kidding, y'all. But yeah, Big Swole as well, because you have to realize that when you have people like this, and there's just companies that pretty much trying to thrive on being better than WWE, they have to prove that. And by proving that, they have to show more of these women. They have to. Because we know WWE women's men's division is shitty. So they have to keep this heat going. They can't just do it like one day and then go back. We don't see her no more ever again. They have to keep this momentum going because all eyes are going to be on them. They have
Yeah,
to keep it going.
yeah, I completely agree. One of my
Also, once again,
big
I blame Booker T for Jay not being in WWE, but things.
yeah, definitely. He's going to take these L's for a hot little minute
Yeah.
about when it comes to black women in WWE. But just to pick up on what you were saying, WWE, for me, in my opinion, between the likes of Naomi, between the likes of Sasha, Bianca, Ember Moon, just to name them, they have so much talent, black women talent, that they do not utilize. Just those four women alone. And I know Sasha, we're going to get to Sasha and all of the amazing accomplishments she's had and is having. But Bianca, Naomi, and Ember specifically, those are women that should be main on the same main event level as Sasha right now. Bianca literally is at this point, what, 3 year, just 3 year in general in the world of wrestling, and she's operating at a level that which a 10-year veteran, just the way she carries herself in and outside the company, her promos, her in-ring ability, you know, she was a 1 year rookie when she put on a match of the year candidate against seasoned veteran Kyrie Sane. So that tells you how she should be. And literally, she's barely, even though she's on the Women's Survivor Series team for this Sunday Survivor Series for SmackDown, before then, she was like not on TV for like 3 months. And it's like with the pandemic, not a lot of people were showing up to work, and she was one of those women. I was like very much one of the people who were like, yeah, she should be challenging Asuka and beating Asuka, in my opinion, for the Raw Women's Champion. And Key will attest to this. There is literally no bigger Asuka stand in the existence of this carbon-based universe than myself.
Yep.
But then, like, she's that good, and that type of rub would do her amazing. Ember, I mean, NXT will always be goaded in many regards and will always be taken serious by 98% of the wrestling fan base, but she should have had way more success when she was on Raw and SmackDown than she did. And I do feel like they did not put any effort into that. I mean, you, again, going back to Asuka, you put her in a serious feud with Asuka on the main. Well, I don't like, even though it's not technically because they say NXT is the third brand, but on one of those two shows, that's a literal license to print money. And with Naomi, who I believe is gotten the worst end of the stick, every time Naomi steps through that curtain, no matter how long a period of time it's been since she's been on TV, she's always a perennial favorite, a fan favorite, and someone who's going to generate a lot of media and a lot of attention for the WWE product. And too many times Vince has gone, that's nice, but we're gonna just not do anything with you. I'll never forget earlier this year when she made her phenomenal return at the Royal Rumble, rocking that dope ass fro and getting, just straight up killing her spots with Charlotte and Bianca Belair, and literally went viral for the next 2 weeks. And then she got folks like Booker T copping attitude because the fans aren't getting behind her the same way they got behind Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and all of these other wrestlers. But it seems like with WWE, they don't really care. And I mean, this is true for some of the, like, most of the other women, but for black women especially, and just it's like always seems like there's an extra handicap, and specifically with those three women I named and Sasha, who even though she's currently the SmackDown Women's Champion, like, she's never, to this date, she still has never successfully defended her championship on a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Before this current run she's never had a title reign that lasted more than 13 days. And she has only gotten better. And not only that the fact that WWE allowed for so long a narrative of her being unprofessional, a hard to work with, distant individual, when that wasn't the case, to the point where she had to take a sabbatical to rest her mentals because all of that was dredged up for no reason. And so when we think about what AEW is currently doing, allowing this new wrestler, this new individual who's put forth the effort and is a black woman, and say what you want about Brandy Rose, we all have, she is the quote unquote head woman in charge for AEW, and putting her in a program like that, and it's two black women who are being a centerpiece, that is something to be celebrated. When you go back and you look at Big Swole's feud with Dr. Britt Baker, that was for at least 3 straight months the most compelling feud on AEW television by a lot of those fan standards. And that was a ridiculously big deal. And I will say that so far, AEW has been putting their money where their mouth is a lot better than WWE when it comes to the black women wrestlers. And I feel like that WWE has to do way better than what they're doing. They have to do a million times better than what they're doing. And I do blame Booker T for this as well.
Yep, because here's the thing. You're supposed to be a quote unquote mentor and all this happy fun stuff to these younger generation of black wrestlers in WWE, but all you can do is just be stuck in the past about how it was when you and Mark Henry and whoever else was in there. Basically like, well, we didn't have help, so why y'all need help? And then when you get called out on it, you want to act like a victim. Because I recall when Bianca was on I think it was a pay-per-view. I believe it was I'm not sure. I can't remember off that, but she had debuted somewhere or whatever, and there was this round table, and Booker T was up there, and somebody had asked, what do you think about Bianca tonight? Da da da. And first off, it was funny because Montez was just waiting for him to say something jank. He was just that was funny. But he wanted to be like, well, I don't know, because when I said something about Naomi there and that took it out of proportion, when I said something about Sasha, here's the thing. You can't act like a victim when you get called out on something. You just can't. That's jank. No, you don't think you can do that. You know
and literally it's like he's like, so they took it out of proportion. We quoted you verbatim and had audio evidence that you said exactly what you said and what people were reacting to.
Exactly. And my thing of it is, whenever that rumor about the new wrestler they're supposed to have come in, I still don't know if it's true or not, but whenever she comes in and she starts struggling, I can guarantee you it's not going to be the same oh well mentality. He gonna be talking about how they need to do more for her and da 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 da. Despite the fact that, she's a whole racist, but we're not gonna go into there.
You kind of cut out before, so I don't think they heard you when you said who's the racist.
We all know who the racist is.
No, let me stop being the messy,
We know who
the messy for Q.
Shoot, we know y'all know. We know. And we're gonna come back to this recording one day, and it's gonna be like, well, damn, Q was right. How he's sticking up for her, but couldn't stick up for Naomi. But that's just how it is. 2020 is just the year of coon behavior. Let's be for real. That's all it is. 2020 is the year of coon behavior.
Yes, but while we are on the subject of that interview with good old Booker T and the boss Sasha Banks, let's talk about good old Sasha and what she accomplished over the weekend, and really just what she was secretly accomplishing late last year when she was on her during her sabbatical, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, Sasha Banks made her acting debut on the hit Disney Plus show, the hit Star Wars show, The Mandalorian, and she played one of the Mandalorian and Bo-Katan, a very significant new Star Wars characters group unit. And for even though didn't have too much, she had a significant role, but it wasn't too much. She wasn't the focal point of the episode. She still was carrying that boss badass swagger that Sasha Banks is known for, and it was fantastic. I remember that Friday, being half drowsy, just checking my phone, saw me and Key's homeboy Josh tweet out, he watched the episode early. He like, yeah, I like the Sasha Banks episode. I like the Sasha Banks episode. That's this episode, and ran up and fired up my Disney Plus and got to watching it because that's just how important it is for me personally to support these newer age wrestlers in these endeavors, especially the ones that just really are the transcendent ones. And Sasha Banks, she's a bona fide star. She's just straight up as advertised, the boss, the blueprint, legit boss, any adjective that she has given herself, she has lived up to it and then some. Got to shout out Hot Ones, I should say, Hot Ones, because when she did their episode, that's how she was like. That's how they picked her out. And said, yeah, I want that badass wrestler chick to be on Star Wars, and I'm very much looking forward to see if she's going to show up in more episodes because yeah, that was awesome. What you got to say about this kid?
I am so for it because once again, I'm very pro wrestlers having a second amount of income coming in because, thanks to Terry Bolla, there's not really a union, so they can't really get the money they're supposed to or get the benefits they're supposed to. So I'm with that, and she's just doing a damn thing. And the fact doesn't matter that a producer just watched her from her eating chicken and was like, you know what? I want her on the Mandalorian. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love that. And I also love, I honestly love her, in my opinion, her change from when she started to where she is now. Because I'm just gonna say this on my opinion. I mean, I'm not, trying to be disrespectful or anything. But when she first started out, to me, it seemed like she was one of those that was like just wrestling based only. And if nobody else was like that, they were wrong. But now it's like over time she's starting to dabble more into more and more different things. So it's good for her, and I'm happy that she's venturing out and she's prospering because out of all the four horsewomen, well, no, because number one's my favorite. Number one for me is Charlotte, but she was my number two favorite. So I'm really happy that she's starting to get credit outside of WWE because in the long term that can really be beneficial. Because you never with WWE it's a gamble. You never know when you could have that last match. If that makes sense.
No, it makes complete and total sense. Personally, I like all the four horsewomen, but I gotta say, yeah, I do because it's hard. I can't really pick. I met Bailey one time back in 2016, right before she no 2015. I met Bailey right before her run back match with Asuka at Wizard World Chicago. She got my full name right, which not a lot of people do on their first try. She said it 3 times actually when she was still a good guy wrestler. So even though I'm pretty sure now she'd smack me across the face and kick my ass off into the middle of the street for even trying to talk to her because she's a bad person. That's rude and disrespectful, and it hurts my heart to see. But and of course Charlotte and Becky are with Asuka in the 3-woman tandem, the Shield, where they run roughshod over the WWE Women's Division as Asuka is the WWE champion, and and Charlotte and Becky are respectively the tag and Raw and SmackDown tag team champions. So you know how that goes. But yeah, I totally once again didn't just talk about my universe mode from 2K19.
Yeah, you did. You just totally did. You totally did.
I'm gonna speak the Shield into existence for as long as I can because I'm
Man.
not gonna. I was robbed in 2018 when Becky got punched in the face and she couldn't be in the match, and then she hugged Charlotte, and then she acknowledged how much the fans wanted Asuka, and it's like, why can't you make that the Shield? Have them be the new Justice Reborn, have them triple powerbomb Ronda Rousey, and have them run roughshod over the WWE forever. Since Dean's gone, just give us another Shield. The streets need it. I need it. I'm speaking into existence now. But back to the boss. She's like, just agree with everything you said. Like, she is truly showing how transcendent she is, and it's just amazing to see that. It like and just to overall tie back, it's great to see the four horsewomen in one way or another living up to their monikers and to the status people and the pedestal that people place them on. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the consummate professionalism that Charlotte constantly shows when she's not dropping Kyrie Sane on her head. That
Ouch.
is, it's
Ouch.
all good. They love each other, even though Charlotte couldn't have dropped her harder than me dropping a sack of potatoes when my arms are tired. But still, they all good. They love each other. It's all fun. It's all love. And with Becky being being this crossover megastar that people loved and put up with and tolerated and wanted to see succeed, to Bailey finally making solidifying that she wasn't just a NXT one hit wonder, that she can have major success and notoriety on the main roster as herself and everything. And now you have Sasha being the first one to truly cross over into something completely ajar and completely independent from anything WWE related and smashing it to the point where people are like, yeah, that Gina Carano idiot who just keeps talking about this far right alt right garbage, and she's a part of the Mandalorian. How about we just get her up out of here and make Sasha Banks, the Mandalorian's new partner, female partner, and just get it done like that. When you made that much of an impact on your one appearance, that's how you got the legendary it factor that WWE talks about so much. And yeah, nah, I think we can do a little jump over to the smaller topics before we get to the final major one. Um, yeah, Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion once again, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Key, we're gonna call it now. We predicted that something like this was going to happen because this has been the standard for the past 3 years, where a WWE championship match before Survivor Series ended in the title changing hands. I will say and echo the same sentiments that others have, that it kind of didn't make any sense for good old Drew to drop it in the first place if this was what they were going to do. But I will amend that by saying that clearly Randy has been one of the many MVPs of the COVID slash no audience slash Thunderdome era of WWE television. And so this was a reward, giving him a title run late in, pretty late in his career, and then putting him closer to Triple H and Cena and Flair's record that he rightfully deserves, in my opinion. So you do that. You also, make Drew a two-time champion, which means he's automatically above, a lot of guys who've, held the WWE championship, and shows that the company still has faith in him. But still, it was still weird to see this whole scenario happen. But the upside, we get Roman versus Drew, and the way the both of them has elevated over the past year definitely is going to make this a must watch come Sunday.
The thing of it is, I'm not sure exactly where it's gonna go, because is that mean Randy's out the title? Is he out the titles line? But I mean, let's be for real. We know who's gonna win on Survivor Series for the champion versus champion. Spoil not a. It's not a spoiler. It's a prediction. But we know what's gonna happen with that one. And my thing again now is, where does this leave Randy? Because I thought it was going to be where he was going to have the title, and it was going to be this thing where he and Cena have a match at some point to see who breaks Ric Flair's record. But now, I'm like, okay, so what next? Because I really thought that's where it was going to go. Because they have been banking on this, this title, Ric Flair's title, number of championships he's won for years. This has just been one of those big old accolades within WWE. So you would think it would have came down to Randy, retaining or whatever. Then eventually it leads to him versus Cena to see who breaks the record. But now, I mean, it still can happen though. I mean, the year's not over. We haven't still got to Royal Rumble. Anything can happen between now and then. But in the meantime, once again, where is this going to lead for him?
I think that the thing that leads next to him is The Fiend. I think that even though I feel like it would have been a lot more compelling to have The Fiend chase and inevitably win the WWE Championship from Randy, I can see that a way that they will rectify that would be for them to have Randy lose a title rematch, and it's because of The Fiend. And that way you have The Fiend taking from Randy what, trying to take from Randy in the same way that Randy took from Bray all those years ago, which is weird to even say. That is about to be 3 years since that whole Randy Orton three. It's been 3 years. It's about to be 4 years since that whole Bray Wyatt Randy Orton feud and the initial version of it. And yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. Where the Miz falls into all of this, I don't know,
That's
but
another question. Where does Miz fall into this? Because you know dang gum well they're not gonna have that boy use that Money in the Bank briefcase on Roman. We know they ain't gonna do that. So it's like, okay, what's gonna happen with him?
I think Drew will end up dropping it to Miz because Miz is in my opinion someone who needs and or not even needs deserves another title run because it's been so long. He's come so far. He can hold his own. And I'm gonna say it when with someone like Drew, WWE champion, and with the what's the word I can look for? With Drew as WWE champion, there's only so many heels that have credibility that I believe taking the title from him, and they currently are not on Monday Night Raw. Miz has the Money in the Bank briefcase and the equity to successfully cash in and be WWE champion and stave off Drew. And since there's always these rumors that persist that they do want to give Drew a lengthy title win and reign when the fans come back, I can see them for his third reign because traditionally with their major baby faces from your Romans to your Cenas to your Punks to your Bryans, it's always the third title reign when they're a baby face that they get the mega rocket to them. Like the first couple, like the first one can be semi-lengthy. The second one will probably, be semi-transitiony. But when they
Mm-hmm.
win it for the third time, that's when they're gonna go ahead and just strap that rocket to them and like it sure like show their dominance. And my like
Right.
that's just me spitting off the top of my dome. But another reason why I say the Miz may end up winning that title because then his challenger pool becomes more of like the WWE title challenger pool can become more varied because now you're not dealing with a dominant, physically dominant, or even win wise dominant champion. You now have a conniving heel, meaning that at that point anybody can feasibly challenge for the title and be credible. And what I'm getting at is Kofi can get his back. Kofi
Oh,
can get
true.
his Kofi can get his believable run back with the equity in the tag team. You already got it built in. Miz and Morrison, Woods and Kingston, and then you know what I'm saying. And peep this, peep this. I want you to follow this, and I want you to tell me what you think about this. Kofi ends up winning the belt from Miz, and then Mustafa, Mustafa, and Retribution come for Kofi, and then Mustafa may end up winning the title because this can finally be the retribution for what Mustafa feels like was the opportunity he was robbed of.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, I'd buy it.
And in that way, you got three deserving individuals getting title opportunities and reigns. Kofi
Mm-hmm.
and Miz get their second title reign, thus making them bona fide WWE champions in the history books of WWE. And then Mustafa can get his WWE title reign that he's showed he deserves, he earned. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Let me make this abundantly clear as I get closer into the mic and talk very softly. Retribution is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Retribution and what they stand for and the promos that they cut and their reasoning for existing is awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about no damn win loss record. Let me make that up. I'm
Sure.
tired of the internet perpetrating that win loss records are the most important thing. It can feel like that at times, and I may even go, "Damn, this dude won't stop losing." But it don't matter if the story is good in that. All it takes is one victory. All it takes is one victory for that to change. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, like Retribution's reasoning for existing, their Twitter game is impeccable, and they're just dope. They're dope. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for them. As I've said previously about Mustafa outside of the ring, and when you look at it, he's an incredibly dope individual. Truthfully, in real life, all of the members of Retribution, when you when in real life, are great, awesome people. Mia Yim, Dominic, Dio, Shane, all of them folks are like traditionally good people outside of the ring, and I really want them to succeed with this and in everything they do. So clearly, WWE has not gotten, clearly they have not given up on them, you
Right.
know. And if their Twitter game stays hot and Vince still sees value in them, I want to see this happen. Any thoughts? Final thoughts on that?
No, most definitely. It's like it's something fresh and it's something new, and the promos are just off the chart. And I love how they hacked the WWE account the other day. So I like your theory about it eventually Mustafa getting into the WWE title picture because he deserves it. He really does.
Absolutely. They just need to slap up the Hurt Business a couple of times, get their wins back, and then Bob's your uncle. Get her done that way. There's a lot of potential that they can see. And quick, one more thing. And I just thought of it a little quick aside before we get into the major final topic of it. Sorry, folks. But I know you saw that Twitter post that that Finn posted yesterday with my favorite, personally, one of my new favorite wrestlers, Adam Cole. If you haven't watched him on Up Up Down Down and their Uno playthrough, do that. And I'm specifically talking to you, Key, because I know you haven't and you need to watch it because him, Tyler Breeze, Xavier Woods, Cesaro are literally hilarious. If you watching those Uno playthroughs will make you want all four of them to be world champion right now. They're that good. But Finn posted a picture of him, AJ Styles, and Adam Cole all in suits with the caption "The Club," and that sent everyone into a frenzy. Like,
Does it?
and for months, and for no, since Adam Cole officially joined the WWE, people have been wanting Adam Cole, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor do another to do a Bullet Club WWE version proper, because all three of them have been significant members. Specifically, Finn and AJ have been the leaders. Finn is the founder. He is the club. Anytime you see anybody adjacent, whether it's elite or even the people carrying the banner in New Japan, understand that Finn has the rights and the equities to all of that. So if he want to say, yeah, we're going to run it back into the E, you best take it as damn serious as if he was doing it in New Japan or AEW. And if he links up with AJ Styles and Adam Cole, I mean, it looks like the Undisputed Era has run its course. You know, I've always loved them from day one, even if some of them folks in good old UE got worms for brains, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, that would be dope. Key.
So, my thing is, if you guys have followed me for the whole time I've had a Twitter account, or if you ever followed me on Tumblr, I am the biggest Bullet Club fangirl ever. So, to see Finn hint at a possibility of it being a faction in WWE is exciting because, in my god honest opinion, his and AJ's era were really the only ones that mattered. And the one that Tama has right now is the only one that matters. Because it is what it is. You can say that shade, I really don't care. But when a certain somebody became leader, it stopped being about making an impact and started being about themselves. And that's why the elite became a thing. Yes, I'm name dropping, I really don't care. But it's a reason why New Japan was happy when AEW became a thing. And we're just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for the actual Bullet Club, and I'm even more for it because I know it's gonna be some whining and bitching and moaning and complaining. But it is what it is. Who cares? That's what they do anyway. So, oh well.
Yes, same, big same. So the last topic of the evening is going to focus on Zelina Vega's ridiculously out of the blue, out of nowhere release from the WWE. And just to keep a very long story short and concise, she was one of the many individuals who were making a cool community elsewhere on different platforms, specifically Twitch and OnlyFans. And for those who haven't been keeping score, Vince McMahon has been trying to tighten his tyrannical grip on his, well, not even his, they're independent contractors. But with that being said, basically trying to keep anybody working with WWE under their only umbrella and not letting them branch out without their express permission slash without them getting a piece of their pie. And unfortunately, it seems like Zelina was made an example out of because, you know, on TV you can say what you want about her, but on TV she had incredible talking ability and was looking pretty solid in the ring. And a lot of people liked working with her, and she had a very big upside. So to see her released for essentially, continuing to do this completely legal thing that should be available to all wrestlers, considering that they don't work, they're independent contractors, they're not explicit employees. These type of restrictions shouldn't even be in place in the first place. And with her expressing her support of unionization, which is something that wrestlers should have had well before me and Key's time, unfortunately, they use that as an excuse to release her, which is bull to the shit. So yeah, interested to see where Zelina goes from now, and also interested that this is the hill WWE seemingly wants to die on, considering that prominent politician Andrew Yang stated that when Joe Biden was elected, which he was and is going to be the next president of the United States, thank God. Um,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, that he was going to use his pull on the Democratic side to open an investigation to get this changed. So this does not help Vince McMahon's odds in any way, shape, or form. Key, I'm gonna lay out and let you
All right, so here's my thing. I don't know why he thought this was a good idea, but once again, this goes back to the bastard Terry Bollea, or how do you pronounce his last name, for freaking destroying WWE ever having a chance with unions. And for y'all saying that maybe she should go to AEW, hint, hint, Cody feels the same way as he does. So, there goes that pipe dream. It's like, I don't get why they are not, they know that eventually we're going to be on lockdown. Wrestlers are going to need some kind of income to keep their lights going and keep, money and food on the table and everything. Are they supposed to just sit on their, are they supposed to sit on their hands and feet and do nothing? Like, come on now. And so, in my opinion, it's stupid. And I personally cannot wait until Andrew Yang gets the McMahon family for all this bullshit. Because they'll have it coming. Like, personally, I don't fuck with Zelina Vega because, when again, I don't know if my many viewers are on Twitter or not, but there was a fan of hers, an extreme fan of hers, that was exposed for being a whole pedo. And people were trying to tell her, and never heard anything from her. But yet, we couldn't find out she still actively talks to him on Instagram. So it's like, okay, you really don't care about victims or whatever. But that aside, I really feel it was wrong that she got fired for trying to bring in more income for herself. Because they wouldn't have to do this. Like, none of the wrestlers would have to do these YouTubes or Twitch or OnlyFans if they were getting the proper benefits from WWE. But hopefully, again, with common sense coming in to the White House, hallelujah to Jesus, hopefully things will change for the better for all wrestlers. And I wish her the best of luck. I don't fuck with her, but good luck to her. I hope it all works out for her.
Yeah, same. I'm not as caught up with that aspect of Selena, you know, with everything in regards to that. But even still, I do feel like that's jacked up that she did that. But even with that being said, I mean, this is something that is incredibly important. You got a lot of racists, a lot of people who deal in pedophilic tendencies still employed and protected in WWE. All Zelina did was say, try to, like she really didn't do anything outside of go against the family, unfortunately. Whereas, the McMahon family, go against their word. And the word shouldn't even have been anything serious because it's just them trying to be out of touch and wackadoo. So yeah, that whole aspect of it is still bogus and really, it's going to be very apparent that WWE's loss is going to be somebody else's gain, whether it be AEW, Impact, or maybe Zelina goes into just doing regular media because she definitely has the connect to do so. So, and like I said earlier, Andrew Yang is taking this very seriously. Multiple wrestlers currently employed by WWE have been speaking with him about ways to change this and make this better. And it's not going to be looking too hot for good old Vinnie Mac. What about this? He's going to be looking. He's getting eyes. He's getting eyes on him at a point where he does not have public opinion on his side because none of the fan base is going to look at him and go, "Oh yeah, we stand with Vince McMahon in the WWE." No, they're going to be wanting that hammer.
It's gonna be a celebration in the streets when Vince McMahon gets his just dues. That's why I'm hoping, for his sake, whose contract expires before Andrew Yang gets in that cabinet. Because if it doesn't, and he finds out that they kept that man up there, he's just going to be ripping NXT apart to see who else is in there that shouldn't be in there. Cough, cough, I'm not NXT, but WWE, as a whole. Like, there's going to be investigations everywhere. So, for, Hunter's sake, I really hope that dude's contract is coming to an end soon.
Yep. But in any case, we are going to go ahead and wrap it on up, y'all. Thank you again, everyone, so much for listening to us talk about wrestling. Key, let these good folks know where they can find you on the socials.
You can find me at Kersey Lannister, KersiLanister, Twitter. That's my Twitter. Once again, I'm mostly talking about either K-pop, comics, wrestling, or whatever comes across my timeline. Also, you'll be able to catch me on a very new special podcast very soon.
Very, very soon. That's gonna be hitting y'all ears and eyes fairly soon. And you already know who I is, Bees, QuaMonstarG. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening and liking and commenting and subscribing per the usual. I thank you all for the love and support, and we will see y'all later. Say peace.
Bye.